today we're going to make a collection. And of course you're asking me, what kind of collection? We're going to make a collection of leaves. You know what time of the year it is. Sometimes this time of the year is called fall. And you might ask, well, why is it called fall? Well, because leaves are falling. I think that's where it comes from. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a collection of leaves. You're going to find 10 different kinds of leaves. Now they have to be different kinds from different kinds of trees. And they all have to be flat leaves. You know how this is? Like they call this a broadleaf rather than a needle. Okay, so you have trees with needles. Okay, like spruce and pine, they have needles. But instead, I want you to to find leaves that are flat or broad. You could say broad-leaved trees. But I want you to find 10 different kinds. Now, this particular leaf is from an oak tree. And it is a red oak. You can tell it's a red oak because it has very sharp edges. Okay, so if you look at these points here, they're very sharp. And that makes them red. Now, red starts with the letter R. And the word sharp also has the letter R in it. So if that helps you to remember it, great. The other kind of oak that we see around here quite a bit is a white oak. And the white oak has all rounded leaves. So if you see a red oak and a white oak, those are two different species of trees. So if of the 10 trees you're supposed to find, 10 different kinds of trees, a red oak is different from a white oak. So if you find a red oak and a white oak, you can use both of them and make a collection. Now, if you just put this in your pocket, it's going to crumple up or it's going to get damaged. But we want to preserve these leaves nice and flat. And if you preserve them right and if you take the moisture out, they will keep the color. Yeah, they will keep their color. So in order for that to work, you'll need a book. Like we always used to use telephone books. But any kind of book that has leaves, like these kind of leaves, that you have to make sure that the leaves do not have like a film of wax on it. Okay, it's not supposed to have any wax on it, because if there's wax on it, then the moisture cannot go in the paper. Basically, you want the moisture from the leaf. You want the moisture from the leaf to go into the paper of the book. But if there's wax on it, like those National Geographics, they're like very thick pages with wax on it. Don't use those because the moisture is not going to go in the paper. So use a cheap book is good. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this leaf and I'm going to stick it in the book like this. But I'm going to keep this kind of, the stick, or the stem from the leaf, I want it to kind of stick out the bottom so I can find the leaves back. I've had it before where I put all kinds of leaves in a book like this, and I couldn't find the leaves back because, they dried up and they were... it was hard to find the leaves back, except maybe, you can go like this and try to find them back. But it's always handy to kind of leave a little point sticking out, or the stem sticking out, okay? All right, so I have one leaf now. I need 9 more. All right, so now it's your turn, okay? Go outside, find 10 different kinds of leaves. And what I want you to do is to find out what species of trees they are. in this email, I'm going to include some pictures or a poster of different kinds of trees, different species of trees. And you can use those posters or you can use those pictures to try to identify what leaves are in your collection. Now, if for some of the leaves, if you cannot figure out what kind of tree it is and you're not able to identify it, you can ask me on Thursday. Okay, this coming Thursday, you're going to show me your leaves and we can go through those leaves and find out if we can identify them. Now, if you do this on Monday, I think by Thursday, the leaves will have dried out, at least mostly. They will mostly have dried out. If you leave it like this for like a week or two, they'll be very dry, but also very brittle, and they may easily break. So you have to handle them carefully afterwards. And then when they're really dry, really dry, then you can take the leaf and paste it on a white piece of paper and preserve them like that. Anyways, happy hunting. Go see if you can find those 10 different kinds of 10 different kinds of leaves. And I'll see you on Thursday.